Hello, everyone. This is Michaela from Joy Inc., and you're listening to the End All the Things podcast. As a life coach and facilitator, I work with individuals and groups to empower their best selves to shine to the betterment of all involved. My goal is always to bring you closer to trusting the voice inside of you that is authentically yours. My job here is no different. In my journey through life, I continue to meet people who use their authenticity, their gifts, to grow, change, and serve through professional and personal endeavors. These people and their stories become my gift to you, for I cannot keep a good thing to myself, and I believe that they may inspire a part of your story to evolve. Today I'm excited to share a special bonus with you. It is the live Joy of Tarot. Join me for a joyful discussion with the incredible Lisa Tancredi of the Feel Better Group. These conversations are filled with insights, honesty, mentorship, friendship, the joy of tarot, and of course, all the things. So join me and Lisa as we share this journey to grow, change, and serve. Don't forget to follow us at My Joy Coach and at the Feel Better Group, and check out the rest of our episodes and bonuses on And All the Things found on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Please enjoy the show. Hello.
Oh, how are you?
I am good. How are you doing on this beautiful day?
Oh, it's a beautiful thunderstorm outside. I don't know if you can.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my
Is
gosh.
it sunny down?
It's
where
sunny
you are?
right now. Yep.
It's just started. The thunderstorm just started. Let me forgot to get I usually get a notebook and a pen, pencil, but I totally forgot it. Just to take notes, because you always say things that I'm like, oh yeah, that's I like that phrase. I like the way she put that. That's
well,
fun.
you know, I put them all up on YouTube and on the And All the Things podcast channel. So they're there if you ever want to go back and re-listen.
Yeah, no.
Because I feel the same. These conversations that you and I started to just carry on the conversations that we keep having, they're so rich with information and experience, and I find actually myself spacing out just listening to you, and I have to come back and be like, wait, I'm involved in this.
I get it. You know, that happens to me
it.
too. Sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, because I go off onto like,
My head goes,
right, exactly. You're like, oh my God, that really fits in with something that I'm dealing with today. And suddenly I'm off over here, right?
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
But I think that's why the conversations are so important. And for anyone that's listening or will be listening, we have to say these things out loud, because we're not the only ones experiencing it, you know? And when I do express out loud what's in my head, there's always someone that's like, oh my gosh, did you read my mind? How did you know? And we know because these are universal experiences, right? And that's what I love so much about the tarot piece that you bring to everything.
Wait, we can't hear you anymore. There you go.
Sorry, can you hear me? A call came in. I forgot to silence those.
Okay.
Yeah, you know how that forgetful stuff goes.
I do. I'm like, I actually taught a yoga class, and I had forgotten before the class started to turn my phone on to silent mode, right? I just plugged it in so that I could use the Spotify, right? And suddenly in the middle of the class, the phone rang. And I don't get a whole lot of phone calls, quite honestly. I'm not one, you text me, and then that's how I'm like, oh my God, what a rookie mistake.
But you know what? But we're human, and that's where. And my friend Chrissy is on here, and she's like, "Yep, that's me with you always." How did you know? But we are all going through this messy stuff, and if you and I can't acknowledge that we forget to deal with our technology or make quote mistakes through life, however you want to categorize these things, but we are just messy beings, messy creatures living in a beautiful life, and we have to kind of balance that out. So I appreciate this, and I'll leave it to you. Do you want to ask our audience for a number? Do you want to pull a card?
Sure. If anybody who is listening wants to give us a number, just put a number in the chat and we'll see it. And we'll
1 through 22.
1 through 22.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we don't have. Wait.
There we go.
7.
We have 7. All right.
Thank you, Chrissy.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Today, we're talking about the High Priestess.
Ooh,
High Priestess.
she sounds fun.
She is. And her message, her big message that's coming through right now is be open to yourself. Watch how open you are to everybody else, right? Because it's very easy to catch on to other people's energy, right? And other people's energy and the things other people say will go straight into your subconscious. And like, if you don't find a way to say, you know what, am I really sure I want to hear this person? Am I really sure I want to allow this in? And the thing is, the problem is that it's always going, right? Your subconscious is always going, right? It's always paying attention. So you have to watch what you put in front of it. Like, even down to like, watch what you're watching on TV, watch what you're reading, watch what you're thinking about, watch what other people are saying to you that you're agreeing with, right? And it's not an easy thing to do. What it means is that you have to slow down, right? What were those 2 speeds that if you're doing this work?
Pause and still.
Slow and stop.
Go.
Right.
Slow and stop. Yeah.
slow and stop. Right.
Slow and stop.
Right. So one of her messages is the way that you handle this is you become like her. You see her. She's very calm. She's very quiet. She's very balanced. The cross that is on her is a balanced cross. It's not one way or the other. It's not going one direction or she's balanced. She's balanced between black and white. She's not looking at things anymore as good and bad. She's like, are these things that I want more of? Are these things that I don't want more of, right? Because if you want more of this, whatever it is, then expose yourself to it. If you want more chaos, bring yourself more chaos, right? All right, that's the second time I've received the message to slow down in a week. Yes, we are all going
universal truth.
Yes, right now we are all like just scrambling, and we're not getting anywhere. We're just scrambling really hard to do 900 things, and what are we doing with
why?
Yeah, why?
And why? And we don't know why, because we're not pausing, we're not slowing down enough to identify what's most important to us, and then let that be the filter through which we say yes or we say no. Everything we say yes is a no to something else. Everything we say no is a yes to something else, right?
Yeah.
And I say to my people all the time, as often as possible, that we have a choice. And when we take the pause and when we say, is this my fight? Is this my information? Is this my battle to engage with? Right? If we don't have that discernment, then we're like, I don't know, like a slushy machine gone crazy, just accepting.
Yeah.
And then we overflow and then we get brain freeze, right?
Yeah.
So the idea of not seeing things as black and white, right? But exploring what's in between and knowing that we get to be the gauge by which it shifts.
Yeah.
So,
and the balance that you need, the mental balance, the emotional balance, the level of calm that you need to look at something and not come up with a way to find fault with it, but come out with a way to make the best of it. You can either make the worst of it, you can make the best of it. You can either find fault with it or you can find it to be absolutely perfect. It's bringing you where you need to go. And things fall apart so that they can come back in a better place. And so she's just saying the way you go on this ride is by being calm, quiet, and balanced, no matter what is coming, right? The storm is outside. I don't even have the lights on. Well, who cares? We're coming, right? We're coming. We're just going to stay here and keep going, and one step at a time. Like, whatever chaos you have in your life, the thing to do is to bring yourself into balance first. And then you approach it from the standpoint of calm and order and balance and finding a real reason to do something, meaning do it because it is something useful for you, not because it's right or wrong, not because it's good or bad, but because this is the right thing for you. You feel it in your body. This is right? This is
a full body, yes.
A whole
right?
Body,
like
yes, exactly.
Whole body, yes.
This is the thing to do.
We're just going through saying yes in pieces, and then we wonder why we're coming up short.
Yes.
Yeah. Right?
Millions of pieces, and wondering why we can't put together our puzzle because we have too many pieces.
Right. we are not supposed to be this overwhelmed, right?
No.
But because of the way we live, because of the conveniences and luxuries and accessibility to so much, we lose sight of we're here to connect with other humans. We're here to take care of this body so it can be a vehicle by which we connect with other human beings. And yet we're running through, and I'm sure there's more, but we're running through just grabbing up everyone else's shit, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, like people call and say, I need this. Well, am I the only option you have?
Yeah, right.
Is that my responsibility? What's the result of me doing this? Because if it means that if it's life or death, let's talk, right?
Yeah.
But if it means inconveniencing and doing injustice to the things that I hold sacred, my family, my health, my ability to connect, then it's not worth it, right? Because have a reforming people pleaser here, I would say yes to everything because I'm the kind of person that shows up. I'm the kind of person that doesn't let you fall.
Yeah.
But if I don't let people feel the result of their choices, if I'm always going in and swooping and fixing, then I'm going to be always going in and swooping and fixing from now until eternity, unless I help the individual build the skills. Yeah. And as a coach, that's exactly what I do.
That's what you do.
People's problems.
No,
I couldn't do that if I tried.
Yeah,
right?
You can't do it. You can't do that. Right.
And if I did, it would create codependency. It would take away agency from the people that I love and care for and want to see fly. Yeah. And that's it. Is this your fight?
Yeah.
And by fight, not everything is a fight, but is this something for which you will engage and contribute your precious energy and your precious time? Because we only have so much, and if we spend our lives worrying about the tiny little details, we will miss the big connections.
Yeah.
So high priestess is.
Yeah, this is the high priestess, right? She's basically your subconscious, right? She is receptive and she is always constantly bringing back to you what it is that you put out. So if you are angry, right? If you are angry and you decide to make a decision from that angry state, what's going to happen is you are going to come back. What's going to come back to you is going to bring you more anger, right? Mm-hmm. The result of your decision is going to bring you more anger. If you are frustrated and you make a decision, right? Like one of the examples I like to use is like, have you ever gotten in a fight with your significant other, whoever they are, right? You're about to go out the door, right? To go do something that's going to be fun with a group of other people. And you just say, fine, I'm not going, right? What a horrible decision that is. You want to go, right? But you're not going. You're making a decision in anger. And what's going to happen is that you're going to bring yourself this, I'm going to stay home, right? I'm going to not do something that I thought was going to be fun and that I'm looking forward to. Right. And I'm going to punish myself here, right? I'm going to bring myself more anger because I made this decision in anger.
Thinking that I'm going to really show them or, let me show you.
I got my stuff together. No.
And that's it. And then we have to really ask ourselves, what are we inviting? Because so often we're inviting the thing that we don't really want in that way, of the feeling of I have to do or I have to show. No. Right. In that situation that you just explained, nobody's winning. I mean, I'm sure the significant other's fine going to the thing alone or whatever, but that wasn't the intention. That wasn't the goal. That's not healthy.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. By all means, go do your own thing, but not under that kind of duress.
So
nobody's winning.
Exactly. And one of the things that she's saying is don't take yourself out of joy to try to go find joy. Don't take yourself out of a beautiful, lovely space to try to bring something that's going to bring you back to a beautiful, lovely state. Just don't leave. Choose not to leave. Listen to her. Know that when you are feeling balanced, when you are looking at things as not black or white, but being in between, that there's nothing that ever goes wrong. It is all part of building you and bringing you somewhere else. Mm-hmm. When you look at it that way and you stay in a balanced way, you don't have to leave your joy because you allow that to be the compass that you use to be able to make the decisions in your life. They're not easy, right? It's not easy to free yourself from the bondage of other people's agenda. But that's what she's asking you to do. She's asking you to say, okay, that might be the way that you see this world. That might be the thing that you are saying that absolutely has to be done. But right now, what I need to do is I need to take a nap. Yes. I need to go and relax. And the fact is, a nap is actually a dynamic, creative event, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sleeping
Yeah.
helps to bring up your body to meet with the elevation that you are, the level, the vibration that you are, right?
Yeah.
The other part is resting allows you to digest everything and come up with the solutions that you're not going to come up with by working too hard, right?
When we put ourselves in that narrow space of
Yes.
having to go this way, or I have to just move forward. And again, I mean, you have been instrumental in helping me in that way of honoring rest.
Yes.
That was one of the first things that we talked about during the first session that we had. And I've completely, I mean, in 6-8 months, revolutionized so much of how I see rest, how I honor rest, how I choose it.
Mm-hmm.
Not perfect, right? Because there is no such thing. But I know there are times when I just want to keep pushing and pushing,
Mm-hmm.
but everything about me is saying stop.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned to listen to that. And I learned to take naps. I'm really good at a 30-minute nap. And I've also learned when to get out of my head and say, oh, Michaela, you're just tired, you should sleep, when I'm really just distracted or stressed or dehydrated or things of that nature.
Yeah.
But it's learning to understand where I am in that moment so that I can make the best decision in that moment. If I am dehydrated, if I am distracted from the task at hand, I'm not going to be productive. But also, if I'm fatigued and without rest and haven't cultivated enough space, I'm not going to be highly productive.
Mm-mm.
So it's, what is it? And in that same way of, you know, what do I need right now in this moment?
Mm-hmm.
To go back to your example of that, you know, going out with your partner, sometimes you just need a minute.
Yeah.
It might just be, you know what? We're going to be 10 minutes late.
That's it.
But I'm going to go take 5. I'm going to do the things. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to water. I'm going to whatever. And then we're going to come back like sane human beings, deal with this, because I want to go to the party. I don't want to go with this momentary version of us.
Right.
And it's okay, number one, to be late.
Yes.
It really is. I mean, I know it's like so taboo, but at the end of the day, we cannot live by other people's expectations. We have to create our own. And if I don't know where I am each moment, and it's not to exhaust the awareness, but just to, before I say yes or before I say no and punish myself, what do I really want? What is the desired result here? What options, what resources do I have to stay in that throne with that high priestess?
Exactly.
How do I stay in this throne and say, hello, dark, black, you know, not so great stuff. The white, bright, you know, better stuff is coming. Oh, but wait, guess what? There's more dark. There's more light.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the one constant.
And it's always yours to choose. Yeah. You can choose to just say, oh, who cares? I'm going to go off balance and I'm going to jump off this cliff. Mm-hmm. And that is totally fine. But you are going to then have to figure out how to come back around. Yes. And the fact is, we are constantly thrown off that cliff, right? We are constantly being triggered throughout our lives, throughout our day, whatever. And the reason is so that we can decide not to be triggered. So we can say, you know what? I still have this part of me that enjoys being angry. I still have this part of me that enjoys being a victim. I still have this part of me that wants to tell the story of poor me, this happened and that happened. Whereas what I can do is change that all around, decide that, you know what, that happened and I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to use all of the powers that I have to deal with it in a calm and balanced way. I am not going to bring myself into a victim thinking. Yeah. I'm not going to get myself angry. I am going to master my 4 creative forces, my thoughts, my feelings, my actions, my words. I'm going to master those, and they're going to bring me up to a higher level of understanding, a higher perspective, which is going to make this just seem like nothing. But that's the whole reason we get these challenges and these triggers, so that we can decide, you want to get angry at me, I get to decide I don't want to have anger in my life, right? It takes a long time. It's a real challenge.
It does.
Right? Exactly. And she is saying this, you choose and it comes right back to you, right? As soon as you choose, oh, I think I want to stay angry. Okay, you're going to get more things that you think about that make you angry. And that's going to increase your feeling of anger. And it's going to increase the words you use that get you angry and the things that you do. And you're going to be in this downward spiral. So she's asking, which one of these do you want to choose? Do you, if you have a choice, right? When you're in a calm, balanced place, it's really easy to say, when I have a choice between being really miserable and angry or being calm and relaxed and orderly in my life, of course I'm going to choose calm, right? And she's reminding you that in order, the way that you can choose calm is to come back yourself into balance. Keep yourself away from that overflow line, right? Keep yourself away from that place where when you stub your toe, you're immediately angry. You have to do that on a regular basis. It's a continuous thing that you do in the day.
And as one going through this, and I will forever be going through this, but
we all
right? And it's, I have to acknowledge that. I would love to tell you all that I've got this down pat, but I can tell you this, where it used to take me 5 minutes, 5 days, and a lot of detachment, it now might take a minute or 5 hours, and I celebrate that closing window. I celebrate that I'm getting better at coming back after a little reflection, being like, that was not right for me. That was not my best contribution to the conversation.
Give it again.
Can we try again?
Yes.
Because I just had a conversation earlier today about this, but we are messy.
Yeah.
We are messy. And if we're going to sit in that throne with her and watch the world happening around us, we have to embrace that that's the mess.
Yeah.
All the stuff, all the choices we make, none of them are going to leave us without bumps. Life is bumpy, right?
Yeah.
But it's, what do you do with that? And how do you say, ooh, I learned from this, and maybe next time I'll avoid that pothole, or I'll avoid that toe stub if I can. But if I can't, I'm going to say, wow, interesting. What can I take from this, and how do I move forward? But we like to stay in the pothole and tread the nasty water that's in there, thinking that we're being highly productive.
Right.
And I'm here to tell you, when we think about fatigue, when we think about my journey with fatigue, so much fatigue was created up here.
Yes.
So much was created up here.
So our imagination, right, is something that's new, right? Your cat doesn't have the imagination that you do, right? And what happens when we start going into negative imaginings, right? We have like miserable pictures. We picture ourselves being miserable, and then we come up with more reasons to picture ourselves and more ways to picture ourselves being miserable.
And then our ego validates it and says, yes, more of that.
Yes. And I have to make sure that my ego's okay, right? Because that's the part of me that really is the most important. And then that's how we end up going off of that cliff and getting sort of, it's almost like we get grabbed onto by this negativity that just keeps bringing us down until we can reconnect with something, whether it's, for some people it's a puppy, for some people it's a cat, for some people it's a great idea,
a music, or walk outside,
exactly,
phone call with a friend
that just helps us stop ourselves in that free fall. And there's no time, right? There's nobody that doesn't have challenges in their life ever, right? I mean, I think back to the spiritual masters that we all know stories about, like Buddha, right? He had challenges throughout his life. I think I may have mentioned this once before, that he ended up being poisoned by one of his followers accidentally. They were making him dinner, and he got put, and that's how he knew he was going to die. And that was a pretty big challenge, right? He had challenges through, he had people challenging him all of the time, people wanting to insult him all of the time and publicly humiliate him to try and show that, he really wasn't a master. And one time this man came into the town square and publicly was berating him and saying, what an idiot you are, and you're so stupid, and you did this and this and this and this. And he just sat there very calm, because he's Buddha and he knows how to handle this, right? So he's just sitting there very calmly listening to this person. And then he says, okay, thank you very much. And he goes along his way. And one of his followers comes up and says, that person, they were so angry and they were berating you and they were humiliating you and so derisive. And how did you do that? How did you not get angry? And he said to them, listen, have you ever had a guest to your house? And he said, yeah, sure, I've had a guest. He said, so when this guest comes, have they ever brought you a present? And he said, yeah, sure. He says, do you have to take that present? And he said, no. He said, I don't have to take that present. That's exactly. This person brought me the gift of anger, and I did not want to take that gift of anger, so I left it with him, right? That's where he got that. There are always, we all have these triggers that when somebody gets angry at us, we're like, oh my God, you're angry. And so I'm going to get angry, right?
Yeah.
But as you start getting the trigger of anger out of your body, somebody else getting angry doesn't make you angry, even if they're angry at you. You just say, oh, that person is very angry. I am not going to decide to bring my energy in to meet with their chaos, right? I'm not going to add my chaos to the situation.
Yep.
It can be chaotic.
I'm going to walk around that pothole.
Exactly.
I see the pothole. Pothole's calling my attention, but I'm
going
around
it. Exactly. Exactly.
And it's so important. And one thing to kind of level this, I mean, we all are not Buddha, not yet, or whatever.
No, but just so you know that somebody at that level still has these challenges. You're not going to ever get out of them.
And, and what that tells us is that he was choosing day in and day out. He didn't go on autopilot and just let the things happen. He continued to choose. Can I work with this?
Yeah.
Do I have a responsibility here? Do I give my time to this, or do I take my time and energy and bring it elsewhere? And we can do the same thing. We do not have to be Buddha to make the choice of what's best for us every single day. And we will make choices that aren't great for us. We will make choices that are great. But again, it's the effort, the desire to keep trying and to keep moving forward with the best intentions for ourselves so that we can live our fullest. And I keep thinking of, in the work that I do, I'm always going to, okay, tell me the situation. Now step out of it and be the observer. Be the director of this movie, right?
Exactly.
What did Lisa do? What did Michaela do? Okay. In this scenario, how would you redirect it? If you could go in and tell Michaela or Lisa to XYZ, what would you do? And it's fascinating, and it's hard at first. It can be very difficult to understand that there's the observer, the person, the thing, the perception, and then there's the actor, the body that's playing it out. And to separate those two roles gives us that, oh, well, maybe if I'm in that situation next time, maybe I can be the director and tell her to do this or advise her to do this. And we can do that at the grocery store. We can do that at work. We do not have to confront our biggest, most, scary in quotes, right? Because sometimes the most important relationships are the most fragile, right? And we don't want to throw rocks in there. But then as we practice, we begin to realize it's not a rock. It's a soft, fluffy bubble of opportunity to say, how do we want to do this differently next time? That did not go so well. What can we do differently next time, right? And it's not good or bad, right? It's not about, the actors they're just doing their jobs. So let's direct ourselves in a way that gets us closer to our goals, whatever they may be, but generally it's about being happy.
Wait, I missed you. You are cutting out.
Oh, yep. My phone again. Sorry about that.
Okay.
But speaking of being the director, next time I'm going to tell Michaela to put her phone on Do Not Disturb. But we have the choice. And what I love about the card, the high priestess, is that she's just sitting in her throne. And she is. I have a throne and you have a throne. I feel like Oprah, and you have a throne. Everybody has a throne. Right? It's just we have to come home to that. And the throne is that gem, that divine gift inside of us that gives us enough to sit and watch the world spin around and to go, wow, look at that. That's unfavorable. Wow, that looks nice. And to just sit and to hold our balance and to hold the patience that we have enough, that we are enough, no matter the noise, because the noise won't stop, right? The noise is constantly coming for us saying, buy this, do this, think that, act that.
Blah. Yeah. And
that's exhausting.
If we make our own inner state dependent on something outside of us, we have given away our power, right? If we blame somebody else for the fact that we're upset with something, we have given away our power because we're not noticing how much we have 100% control of our inner state. And the challenge is, how do you get that state back? How do you get yourself back to the state you want to be in when you've been triggered off and you've gone into old programming and habitual behavior patterns and thoughts that really upset you and make you more upset. And then you want to blame somebody else because it's so much easier, but you lose all of your power and lose your ability to choose, actively choose, I want to go in this direction. I want to go in a place that is a joyful place for me as opposed to a miserable place for me. I don't want to accidentally go into the miserable place because all it means is I'm not paying attention. I'm just not paying attention. I'm not going slow or stop.
Slow or
too speed. I'm going too fast. Slow and stop.
That makes me think of a Jack Johnson song. Slow down, everyone. You're moving too fast. Frames can't catch you when you're moving like that. Yeah. And it was about Bruce Lee and how he moved so fast in the videos that the cameras at the time couldn't actually catch him. Wow. Like they couldn't get all the movements. So he had to like slow it down. And now listen, in martial arts, you go for it, but with Tai Chi, slow it down a little bit. Yeah. But it's we are moving too fast to catch all the frames of our existence. Yeah. And if we can slow it down and actually see, what am I seeing? What am I seeing? Mm-hmm. What else could it be? Mm-hmm. Is that mine? Is that my old or new way? Yeah. And just slow down. Yeah. Slow down, people. It's okay to say, you know what, can I have a moment to think about that? Yeah, it's like
absolutely
so awesome, by the way, highly liberating.
Exactly. It is.
I do.
Yeah, I often tell people, listen, I know people ask for a response immediately, but you can always say, let me get back to you. Let me sit with that for a moment. I'm not right. I'm not sure. We're allowed to not be sure yet. We're allowed to like feel your way through things. When you're feeling your way through things, it takes some time because you need to come back to a restful place. Remember that creative, dynamic place, so that the creative, calm, dynamic, restful space, so that the answer can come up in you. It's your own inner wisdom. But if you're running too fast, or if you're too emotional, you're not going to be able to feel it. You're not going to be able to hear it. You're not going to be able to get your own guidance. And you are your best guide. There's no guidebook out there, no self-help book that's going to help you more than what you think your inner self is saying to you.
Yep.
Right? Try that. You take your next step and then you experiment and you look around and go, okay, what's the next step after that? Don't make one decision for the rest 20 years. Don't say, okay, this is my only thing I'm going to do in life and I'm going to do it for the next 20 years. You don't know what's coming to you. It may be that you make this one decision and you take step one forward to do whatever it is you like, you could be a car mechanic or whatever, and it ends up running you into somebody who is building something that really touches your soul and you want to go do. Not that car mechanic isn't a fabulous thing. I'm just saying.
No, but it's a great example, because that takes time and effort and energy and dedication, because it's a practical skill, right? Like you can't just read it in a book.
No.
And to go through, and if you choose that path and then all of a sudden you want to be a writer, great. It's use what you have. Yeah. I spent 9 years in manufacturing, right? And there were many times where I was like, I'm wasting my time. What am I doing?
You're never wasting your time. You're never wasting your time.
Not even a little bit. Not what I learned, how I grew, what I learned about what I didn't want to do with my time.
Exactly.
Was also important. Brilliant. And it was not the fault of the company, my family, the people, none of it. All of it was amazing. But for me, I look at that now as time truly invested. It is everything that got me to this place that I am right now.
And in that way,
be open to it.
It is completely perfect, right? That's the way in which is completely perfect. And the universe is only bringing you perfection. It might not look like what you think you want, but there's an infinite field of possibilities. And we're only usually thinking about one or two things that we think we want. Whereas the universe, the part of us that connects with that universal knowledge, knows that there's something bigger and better for us, and is bringing us things that are bringing us the challenges, that are bringing us the opportunities that lead us in that direction, even if it seems like it's a path that goes sort of like around and off this way. Right?
Yeah, and it's knowing that you're there. Right. Yeah. For me, for years, I did not understand how my time there was an investment. I just thought, I'm here. I have no choices. I'm just stuck. And when I flipped it to I'm choosing this,
Yeah.
and I see what I'm doing, I'm going to have to be patient because I don't know what comes next.
Yeah.
But it was all on me. Nothing at work changed. No other dynamics changed. But I began to see myself, okay,
Good.
what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Is this really a battle or a fight, or is this an opportunity? And shifting it a little bit towards that direction, little by little, day by day,
Yeah.
it then helped me identify, what am I really good at? What can I bring forward? How can I better use my time? And it took away the resentment.
Yeah.
It took away the bitterness that I felt every time I went in of, I have to be here, that I have no choices. It was all my choice.
Yes. Yeah.
I voluntarily went each and every single day.
Every single day. Exactly.
Yep. And it was on me.
Yeah.
That was 100% on me. And I think that's important because once I decided to get back in the throne, the high priestess throne, and see that there was a lot of good and a lot of not so good, I found joy. I found content. I found peace. And the things kept happening. And I just kept sitting with agency. I wasn't just sitting on my laurels, like lumping around. I started putting energy into, well, what could be?
Yeah.
What might
That's
be?
brilliant. Because that's exactly it. When you have, let's say you're waiting in line not at the bank, nobody goes to the bank anymore, but you're waiting in line at the supermarket, right?
Yeah.
Most people don't even do that anymore, but we'll just,
right.
You're
waiting somewhere.
Argument, we're waiting in line at the car park. I don't know.
Sure.
Anyway, you're waiting in line and what can you do with your time? You can practice feeling how fabulous it would be if everything worked out perfectly in your life. You can practice thinking about the things you really enjoy doing. Practice feeling yourself connected to the things that inspire you. Bring more of that energy, build more of that energy. The more you build that energy, the easier it becomes for you to really literally feel and hear the messages that are coming to you from your inner wisdom. Because your inner wisdom wants you to feel the beauty of a balanced, perfect, beautiful, joyful life. Yeah. That's what it wants you to do. It wants you to step forward on the joyful part of your path, not on the miserable part of your path. So start building more energy on that joyful path just by thinking and feeling about it.
Yeah, and I assure you the benefits of that far outweigh the benefits of scrolling through social media for those 3 or 4 minutes while you're waiting online.
Absolutely.
Listen, we're here on social media, not dogging on it, but it's a choice, right? It's a choice. Exactly. And when we find ourselves, in every 2 or 3 minutes that we have, filling it, whether it's checking your emails, checking your social media, checking, that's my mental fatigue.
Yeah,
that causes the physical fatigue. But if I sit and I manifest and I visualize and I just roll through, play the observer, it's energizing.
Yes, it is.
We only have so much to give each day, so let's choose wisely, my friends.
That's it. I think that's our time. I don't have a watch with me today.
No,
I think it's our time.
I think it's our time, and I think we about covered it.
I think we did. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming and joining us.
This was really nice. And thank you for the number 7, Chrissy. I hope it helped. I hope you got some little nuggets. Thank you, High Priestess, for showing up today and reminding us that joy is found in the middle of the happiness and suffering. Yeah. And we just have to sit there and be welcome.
Be calm, be balanced.
And breathe. And check in with your coach, check in with your people. If you are struggling and these words aren't coming out, talk to a friend. Yeah. Talk to someone and just say out loud where you are, because you do not have to sit on the throne alone.
People are out there to go find them. Yeah. They're there waiting for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Lisa, day. You go be fabulous. We'll see
you
all in 2 weeks.
2 weeks it is.
Whatever that day is. Check us out on And All the Things. You'll find all the bonuses. I think this is number 7 or 8, maybe.
Wow.
I know.
And then the Feel Better group. That's me.
That's right. And my joy coach. So y'all have fun. Take care and be kind to yourself. Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap on another episode of And All the Things. If you enjoyed today's show, please like and follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. If you really liked it, please go ahead and rate it. Then think about who in your life might also need to hear it and any of the other episodes we have shared. Then share it with them. When you find something meaningful, something valuable, you've got to share it and pay it forward to those you care for. Thanks for joining us, and follow along on Instagram at MyJoyCoach to see more of me, your host, Michaela Burdyshaw. And as always, make it a great day.